Good afternoon, everybody. This is Bulldozer Investing. Today is December 24th, 2020, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Before we begin our analysis, I'd like to conclude that this is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence and risk analysis before investing. So now let's begin. Today was a short day, Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas, so happy Christmas and happy holidays for everybody. Right now I'm projecting the S&P 500 E-minis. As we had mentioned yesterday, we saw inverse head and shoulder, got a support from the cloud, and also 50% fib retracement. And I mentioned yesterday night that it was early recording, so it was around 4:20 right after the market. I mentioned that we'll probably start the day above. We're going to test 368 levels on SPY, and that's exactly what happened. So SPY closed at 369, perfect bounce, hit the 100% extension, got us support at 78, so it went back and forth, second support, and then it finally picked up some more. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the biggest bull run, the bull run will begin, but the biggest resistance is the 370s, the 3,700s. Okay, that's where exactly the cloud resistance is and 100% fib. As soon as we break above this level, the level that I'm showing here, my target would be 3766. So about 377, 78 on SPY. So let's look at SPY. I think I had a target of 377.97, so 378 would be ideal for next week. Okay, seem a little bullish, as you can see here as well. Let me zoom in on the SPY. Perfect bounce, inverse head and shoulder, broke the neckline. It's still in the cloud for SPY. I would say the sport would be. The support would be on the 367 level. Our target is 378. I don't know what this, I don't know if it was a glitch or not. I've honestly not seen this wick. I don't know what happened there, but it did hit our target, and that's what we're aiming. So maybe it's a signal for us. I mean, it's probably going to go there. So this came way later because this fib level is drawn. Let's take a look at where the extensions are. Yeah, I drew the extensions like from here, so I didn't see that little wick at all. I never saw that price action. I don't know what that spike is, but it shows on every single chart, so I assume it must be pointing to something. As we mentioned, if we do get a big drop, I did say 356 would be my bearish scenario, and we touched that, okay, in the futures, I guess, and then we picked up. I believe the run will continue to 378. The most bullish scenario would be, I said 4,000, but on SPY, it's 412 on the E-mini. So we have to go with both scenarios because we can't. There's an extension here, 3922. I don't know if that's like 4,000, but the 4,041. Okay, those levels. I don't know if we're gonna go that high, but where the pitchfork and the extension meets up is 440.41, so 40.42. And on SPY, I'm not sure if that is the equivalent to 412. Okay, we'll see. I mean, I honestly have a couple of predictions. So last February or last in fact, December and January, if we had paid attention to China and the virus there, the coronavirus there, we would have called out the market top. Okay, everybody would have. So right now, I believe if we do reach the market top on 412 SPY, how could we get a bearish scenario and the market would crash? First of all, Fed is backing up. I'm not sure if we're ever going to get a large crash as we did on February, because I don't think there's a liquidity issue anymore. And the fact that it's 0% interest almost. So the money is either going to go to gold, silver, if people are going to run out of the market, and crypto. But I don't think the market is going to have a severe crash, maybe a small correction. Now, this is my theory, okay? Maybe, I mean, just imagine this as a theory or a conspiracy. This is what I'm guessing. When I read on a couple of tweets and the pictures of the stimulus package, some of the pages, I did see that there are a lot of donations, I'd say donations in this case, to Sudan, Egypt, and Israel, and Asia. Okay, so I believe that, and this is, by the way, I'm not putting acquisitions. This is just conspiracy theory. I believe that Democrats, once they get in power, or once they get the seat, president comes in the office, I believe that we're going to have something like an Arab Spring as we did with the Clinton, Obama, and Biden era. I think these people are back on action. And by the way, I don't support any parties or anything. I don't have any political agendas. I'm just trying to read so that we can take an action in the market. So I'm just trying to read the political atmosphere of what could come, what could be the cause of the next fall. So I believe that if Biden comes in and the globalist or the team that did organized the whole North African spring, I would say this would be another spring in where Sudan. I'm just going to try to put a map out there. Let me see if I just put a world map on Google. So I'm going to quickly describe what I mean by that. Okay. So if you look at the map, you see Egypt, Sudan, and you see Israel. Okay, this line right here. We're gonna see some action on this part of the world, and there's always action. Syria, Iraq, current President Trump did post out pictures of 3 little rockets that came from Iran. So we're gonna see some action. Once the Democrats take a seat, we're gonna see some action, and that might, violent bombing or attacks on here and there. God forbid, I really wouldn't want to see this, but that would be the cause of some action in the market, because you don't really give Egypt $1.4 billion for stimulus. There's going to be some social action going on, and I believe that money would probably go towards protesters and so forth. That I don't want to give out names. I know a couple powerful names there that run this kind of scheme in France. They had it in Turkey. They had it in Ukraine. They uprise and stuff like that. So I don't want to turn this into a conspiracy theory video, but we need to read a couple months ahead of us when we want to act in the market. And I believe that money that goes to Israel, Egypt, and Sudan, 1.4 billion to Egypt, 500 million to Israel, and I believe 800 million, something like that, to Sudan. So this is, I mean, for government, it's a small chunk of money. It's just pocket money, but it just seems sketchy that this part of the world gets, the aid, but what about, the other parts of Africa, like people who are suffering? When, during Obama, we saw action in Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Iraq, Syria, Egypt especially. We had the Arab Spring twice, and then we had the try to take over the Turkish government, Ukraine. Okay, all of these are going to start back, and I'm not sure how much it's going to affect the stock market. It might affect energy prices. Maybe the oil might come up, so that might be something that I'll be watching for. But these are, again, all conspiracy theories, and the market always looks for an excuse to crash once we hit critical points. So I'll be watching global news and headings, especially when we get around this region. Sorry if I took too much time for this, but I did have to state that, because when technicals are ready to go down, like the market is ready to go down because of technicals, some news will pop up, and I just wanted to, if this happens, you can reference the video. Okay, I know I sounded like a crazy maniac, maybe like a conspiracy theorist, but if that happens, you'll see it. Okay? Again, that's a couple months ahead of us, maybe 5-6 months. We just want to go ahead and analyze the market for now. Some action that we had with BLNK, I was pretty amazed how spot on. I'm not going to say how spot on I was, because I'm not a magician. I'm just trying to connect a couple dots and make sense of the price action. But the technicals were spot on. I mean, how accurate is this? And for those who are reviewing this video, I drew this about 2 weeks ago. You can't get any more perfect than this, guys. I can zoom in even more. But wow, fib at work right here. Okay, it's probably flagging. I saw some posts on Twitter. By the way, I always check great chartists and people out there, like, get their opinions and everything. And I don't want to give out. There's so many names that I follow. I'll give them props when I have time. Right now, I don't want to like mention their names, but maybe I'll tweet their names. Some people are saying like 2,000. I mean, I'm not that bullish on BLNK saying 2,000. Maybe, I don't know how far they went. Maybe like, let's look at the monthly chart. Yeah, on a monthly, we broke out the cloud, and the cloud is turning green. And some people started calling for, wow, stock. Let me do an auto. Some people started calling for these 2,000 levels. Now, I can't predict the future like that. I mean, for Novavax, I wasn't really tweeting or doing any market. I was just investing my own. We were buying Novavax at like $4, 380s. We sold it way too early. I didn't think it was going to go this big. I would have been a multi-millionaire by now with the shares that me and my friends had. A couple of my friends had like 15, 20,000 shares at this point. So you can imagine, 20,000 shares at 160, or it went to 190. Let's say 190. That's 3.8 million. Okay, but at that time we had no clue that coronavirus would come, and then they'd get a package. So that was just a crazy dream to come true, and it would happen once in a million years. So yeah, when Novavax was here and the previous highs were at like the 200s, if somebody were to tell me that this is going to go to 200 from $3, I would have laughed. So it could be something like this. So BLNK could be running something like that, but I don't want to speculate it. For now, the most, like 400 is even crazy, like these levels, because the company, what did they announce, like 3 million revenue? I don't know, but I mean, it really doesn't matter if you look at Tesla and other hot stocks, like what they make and what their valuation is at this point. But I'm not that big. I just take it week by week. So we told it, broke, went up, did another flag on the hourly. We said, get in, went up. I said, it reached our target. It's probably flagging again. And it did. And these were all on hourlies, by the way. Yeah. I said, this was a flag. It broke again. It's probably flagging again. And if it goes higher, it'll go to $64. Now, I am not, I made money, small chunks, and I didn't put like my entire account here, but that's enough. $53, that's enough for me. If it goes to 2,000, let it go. I don't care at that point, because we can't guess the future. $2,000 for BLNK, that's crazy. But anyhow, if it does come true, congratulations to those who actually hold it that much. So we went over BLNK, and I wanted to go over PLTR again. I was so bullish on this name. I hate the option expiration days, especially when we have like a short day. So manipulative. It just gets the nerves out of you. Basically, the money I made yesterday, I gave away all of it from PLTR. The stochastics are building up. So if it does come down, I'm not saying it will, but I am expecting 27-25 levels. If that, then the stochastics on the hourly will turn around like this, and then we'll run again. It's probably taking a breather because we tested 20. It's kind of like this area here, like We tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now the next level of resistance is 28.97. Even though it seems like it's 29, the reality is it's 28.97. So we might have another run, breakout, come back, breakout, and then finally head over. As I mentioned yesterday, I don't like this. Test the channel, come back. Test the channel, come back. Test the channel, come back. So it's kind of annoying, and it's testing my patience. So if we do test the channel again, it would be around 350. We might break above. We might come back again. So finally, it'll probably coil up, and it'll go to the 6180 level, and then do another flag and so forth. So I'm not really expecting, because we did get the news that we needed with the contracts and everything, and it didn't explode. So I'm guessing it's going to be a small, like slow grinding, and eventually once we establish a ground on this channel, then we'll move up. Okay. So Palantir did what it expected. Again, it looks like a day trading name so far. Sell in the morning, pick up in the drop, and then sell again in the highs. Like, it's just ridiculous. But we have to be patient. I'm a long-term holder for this name. Currently, right now, I'm 100% in Palantir. I know I should not be 100% in any stock, but I wanted to take the risk. I'm not suggesting anybody or advising anybody to go 100% on any particular stock. Since I said, like, this is my trading account for YouTube video, and I wanted to do a live journey on this. So I can risk whatever, because my actual account is not this, so I'm risking what I have. And I don't like to show my account, but just for the journey, let's go ahead and do it. So I lost what I gained yesterday. We won like 1,000 something yesterday, and I was up like at one point, even in the morning, I was up like 18,500. So we gave away all of the Palantirs. That's fine. I'm pretty much margined in as well. I do have, cash on the side. I'll bring in. I can move this. I can double the shares. That's no problem. But I don't want to bring extra cash into this. We're gonna act like we're starting. 3 months ago we started from 10K, something like that, 10K and some change, and then it dropped a little and so forth. So we picked up, dropped. We picked up, dropped. So it's not going to be a solid move up. We're going to see some down days, and we need to know how to handle psychology. Okay, that's the main thing that I just want to teach everybody, how to handle psychology. So if you look at this week, if I were to sell my Palantirs here, I would have missed this run. Now, I don't do day trading again. I'm not going to do swing with this as much, but this is not showing the full perspective view. But I think at one point I was 19,200 on this account, but I had a huge crush again. Now, if I were to sell it and get upset and forget trading, I'm not going to come back again. I'm holding, I'm adding when it goes down. Like, I wasn't 100% in. I was playing options of $500, and I had some, other like BLNK and other stuff. So as Palantir went down, I averaged down. Now I'm probably, at one point I sold Palantir on a single drop. I think I picked up, I think it was like 29 something or 28.90, 29. I sold it, and then I picked up back at 28. So my average right now is like 28.04 on Palantir. But I increased the number of shares because I had like 1,000 shares. Now with the proceedings, I bought 270 more. That was good. So right now, again, because I bought and sold Palantir like one or two, I think the trading restriction is 3. So I probably had like 3-day restriction. And at that point, I couldn't like do swings on Palantir. So I'm going to hold it. Next week, I'm not even going to sell it. I'm just going to hold it. So far, again, the account is going pretty well for this trading journey. My goal is 25K by February. So let's try to do that. What stocks are we going to, land after Palantir? Now, I'm probably going to hold Palantir for this upcoming 2 months. And I promise not to add Maybe if Palantir goes to like 30s, I might like take half the chips off the table and try to trade some of the names that I've been telling. Maybe I can sell like, 200, 300 shares and go into Apple. So that was my other thing today that I posted. It's flagging. Now, if Apple goes down to 130, or if Apple goes down to 129, don't freak out because it's flagging. It did fill the gap on this, but I feel like another gap fill is coming. Even the 128 would not be surprising for me, because it's trying to coil up for the next run. Okay. I know I have a lot of drawings on this, so just pay attention to this flag. Don't pay attention to what's happening here, but my ultimate goal is 143. So by next week, if Apple drops, I might sell some of my Palantirs to leverage the account, and I might buy 140 Gen 15s calls. I'm not going to do 145. Even if I do 145, I'll rather do 150 for February, because then that would cover the earnings. Okay. So I'm planning something like that to leverage my account so I can buy more Palantir. The drop was okay. As you can see, the ascending triangle, and I did say yesterday that my most bearish scenario would have been 2750, and we hit that. If you watched the video yesterday, I did mention that. So the next swing up, we're going to test the previous high again, 29.30.40. I'll come back down again and so forth. Okay, so this is our scenario. We're going to swing up, come back, test this fib, and then move up and maybe test this 161 level. Again, we're going to go down until if we finally break this and clear, then we're moving up. Okay, but I'm not fully confident. Even though I'm fully 100% in the stock, I will not be fully confident, super bullish, until we establish a ground in this channel, something like here. Okay, so you see the zigzags here, testing patience, and then boom, testing patience, and then going up, hitting the channel. Now, once we hit the channel, I will not short, but I will find another stock, another swing opportunity. Okay? So we covered Blink, Palantir, we covered SPY, we covered Apple. I had a request for AMD. AMD right now, I would say if AMD comes down to, which is already around, but like $1 more, 90.55 is an ideal place, an ideal technical place, but then I cannot ignore this. Okay, you could be bullish on any stock, as I am bullish on Palantir, but you have to make sure to take, average down. So if this goes here, it might test the fib line 100% retracement, which is 88. Okay, and then it'll come back up and test here, which is 95. So if you're bullish on this, I would buy, if this comes to $88, I would buy 95 calls a month out. Okay, I believe AMD calls are pretty cheap, but I cannot ignore the fact that there is a head and shoulders here. So we go ahead and build the third shoulder, and I don't know what the neckline is going to bring. Okay, so I cannot be super bullish on this stock until we come to 95 and break above the retracement here, and then that's when we see the 105s. If you are super bullish on this, I would say buy very, very long. Like what I would do, I'm not saying go ahead and buy it, but what I would do is buy 110s on March. It seems more reasonable but risky, but I just can't see the future in this stock yet. That you probably see many different drawings, Elliott waves and stuff like that, but I'm just trying to simplify this, that it might come down a couple bucks, $1 or $2. Even the furthest it could come down is the $88 range, which is the base here. So this is like $89. Okay, if it comes down to 89, the 2-3 week or month call, month far out expiration, $95 would be reasonable. Or if hundreds are even cheaper, buy 100 and sell it at 95. But then this is the danger part, that once it reaches 95 and it heads down lower, then that would be a head and shoulder. Although the MACD looks really nice, the stochastics looks really nice, and the MACD is curling up. So by the time MACD is ready, we might hit 90 or 89.50s. By then, that would be the entrance that I would do. Okay. I know I drew a lot. Let's take these out. But I hope I just gave you the general idea of, like, this would be base. This would be one base if this holds up. The second support would be here, which is the 88 area, and you can easily draw another, another wedge, and then if it breaks out, we're definitely going to test the 95 to 97. Like we might even retest the fib level, 161 fib level. Okay, as you can see, there's another trend line here. Okay, so if this squeezes out, comes back, 100 would be an ideal. So like a month out, 100 calls would be an ideal situation if you're super bullish, but you don't want to spend too much money. Like you don't want to put down like 100K. If you want to make like $2,000, I think you can make 100% if you were to get around $89, $90 area. If you get a call for 100 month out, I think it's easy to make 100% if that happens. Okay, so I'm seeing a similar situation here. But then I'm super scared because of the head and shoulders. So that's AMD. If you want to take your own risk, I would say risk it around $90. Like start accumulating the $100 calls month out. Even February should be safe enough. And then see what happens. The thing that worries me about this stock is the Microsoft calling for their making their own chips. So AMD is strong in CPU, but GPU, they're the hottest name out there is NVIDIA. So I don't know how AMD in the long run will get affected, even though my current PC right now has an AMD Ryzen, and I'm happy, but we'll see what happens. Okay. So that's my analysis on AMD. I know I've talked a lot today. Your big C's, Amazons, as I said, those are seasonal stocks. I'm not going to get into because I did say buy Shopify. I'll rather buy Shopify than Amazon because it's cheaper and it moves faster. And it already went up a couple percentage. I'm not going to get into BABA because I don't like catching falling knives. You might get, 1 or 2%, trying to do a dead cat bounce. But in the long run, we don't know where the stock is going to go to. So I'm not going to play with fire right now. Uber, I did mention today that remember my analysis. I said when you get a breakout, you'll always go to 50 to 161% fib level extensions. So we hit that perfectly, and that's when I said take your profits off, and we'll probably flag and we'll probably retest. Okay, so how, just to learn the technicality of this, right? So how do you know where you're going to drop? So most likely what I usually do, this is my analysis, is I take the lowest one and then I extend it to the 6180. Usually the drop in that case would be 50% fib, but I see that it didn't go that far. So if you want to play this name, if you want to get into a stock or maybe options, the safest place would be right here, the 50% fib. I don't think it'll go that far because the top of the cloud seems like a pretty good support, although it could come down to here, which would make sense as well. So if this drops a little bit more, it's just flagging, okay? And I believe the upside to this is eventually going to be 57, okay? Now, how do we know once we establish our buy point, which is the 50% fib level here, 51.49, that would be our buy point. If you want to accumulate right now, it's totally fine. But once we accumulate it, now how do we know how far it's going to go back up? So let's say our buying point was like around 51, like the bottom of this green candle, right? So what we're going to do is this, up, down, and right around, let's go even further, like right around here. So then it would probably extend to another 61% run, which is matching this previous 78.5, so 55.45, okay? So which is matching pretty much the 78.6. So the move would be something like this. Another drop, shake off people, and then go here. Yeah. The previous high is here. So 55 calls for a month out should be fine. Again, I'm not like a big options player. I don't really like this stochastics turning down, but the MACD is going up. So we'll see how that handles. This is the 4 hours chart. Let's look at the 1 hour. On 1 hour, stochastics look better, but then the MACD doesn't. So we'll see how that goes. But as I mentioned, my buying point, as I mentioned before, would be ideally would be $52. Comes down to 52. It's going to go back up to 55. So we'll see how that goes. I see another descending triangle here, and then it's just going to go up. Okay. So similar, like this is a bigger piece right here. So we're seeing a similar one. I believe it's kind of like a flagging moment right now, and it's going to go up to 55.45. And if you want to take your profits from there, that's fine. For options, if you're a long-term player, you don't want to play options, then just keep it, because in the long run, I believe the stock is going to go all the way to $61. Okay. So that is Uber. We have the FUBO or FUBO, whatever that football TV is, FUBO TV. Now, huge buying volume. This is institutional. It's totally normal for, you're way up on MACD, stochastics going down. I don't know. I cannot say that it's flagging or anything, but let's do a retracement here. I mean, honestly, it did hit the 50% and stopped. If you want to take the risk of going in, I wouldn't. But if you do, it could go up and fill this gap at 52. That's fine. If you're, trading the name. If you're not trading the name and long-term holder, I don't know. I don't want to give you suggestions, but this would be an ideal situation, and it could drop to 39.61, but then we'll see a bounce. Okay. I can't really chart this because I don't see anything that could be charted. Like I don't think this is a name that you could easily chart because of this rip, But if I were to chart this, it would be something like this. Okay. Now, this points out that we could get a support, which we did actually at the cloud line right here. It's matching the 50. So all of these, like you could just use the Ichimoku clouds. You don't even need fib retracements because most of the time the cloud supports are matching the 50 fib. Okay. And then as you can see, like the 23.6% fib is matching the top of the cloud. So this tells me that if we do pick up, we're probably going to fill this gap right here, which is $53. That's FUBO. Now, if it drops, I can't tell you how far it's going to drop, but this seems pretty reasonable, this play right here. I would wait till everything MACD is ready actually on the hourly. I don't know how the options are on this, but I wouldn't risk too much. Some people, put their whole portfolio, like how I did put Palantir. My whole portfolio currently is made up of Palantir right now, so some people might have went in big. But I always like to sell the rips, take profits off the table. To me, Roku could easily kill this if they wanted to. Or BN Sports might, team up with Roku, or Roku might team up with FUBO TV. I mean, who knows? Both of them might go up. But at this time, the streaming things besides Netflix, like Roku and FUBO, these are very hot, volatile names. Roku is like crazy high for me. I mean, I was trading the name around 55. If I was a long-term holder, I wish I was. I would have made good money. So that's my analysis for FUBO. A lot of people also wonder, my followers maybe are made up of BIGC. I'll just, come down. BIGC is totally normal. This name picks up, then drops, picks up and drops. It tests everybody's patience. So the next run would be 75. the support came perfectly at 71.60. So this is also acting technical. Some people, I saw some drawings online, some people are doing this cup and handle thing. I don't know if it's more, I would say inverse head and shoulder looks more appropriate in this inverse head and shoulder. Okay, so if we break this, oh, the neckline was too high. So if we break this neckline, and which is the cloud resistance, I would say we're heading to 75. But then, you know, if from 75, if we come back down to 73, don't get pissed off, because this stock is like that. I mean, it goes up 3%, then comes back down 2%. Lot of shorts, low float. As you can see, the inverse head and shoulder is very apparent. So, you know, this was an inverse head and shoulder, and it broke the neckline, but it just didn't move. Okay. So we got another, you know, inverse head and shoulder. We might get a pop and go to like 75, maybe eventually 77, but I'm not expecting a big run out of this. Actually, this should be an ideal place. Yeah. So this 75 level is an ideal place. I'm not expecting a huge run out of this stock until we get news. When the shorts will, that's when the shorts will get destroyed. Okay. For now, on the hourly, all I can say is we're going to test 75, and then the next level is 78. So be patient. Be patient, and if you put too much, if you're not patient, that means you put too much money in this. Okay, so that's it, guys. This was a long video. Hope everybody has Merry Christmas, and you know, everybody enjoys their holidays. And then I know we all can't, the trader psychology, we all can't wait till the holidays are done, because we want to get back into trading. That's what it is. The traders hate the weekends. Okay, so hopefully days will go past fast, and then we can, you know, get Monday and live the action. If you are following us, please you know, like us. If you're not following us, please give us a subscription. Our Twitter handle is, not really a big Twitter guy, by the way. I don't even know how to use it yet, because I'm getting familiar with this. So our Twitter handle is bulldozer_invest, or INVST. So please give us a follow. We're growing every day, which is good. Hope I can, you know, help people out and learn from the better traders. Okay. So good luck, everybody. Have a nice day.